Meet me. Welcome back, boys. And today we're going to do a fun little nonsense video based on a question. Most of my videos are just based on stuff that some of you guys have asked me. So today we're going to talk about the 10 things that I love and hate about Epic 7. Now, obviously, overall, I love the game. I've been playing forever. But we're breaking it down into 5 things I love about the game, 5 things I hate about the game, and explain why I feel this way. And then you guys can think about it and share in the comments below your own pet peeves, why you've stayed with the game, and the things that have made you want to throw your phone across the screen. So I'm a positive person, so we're going to start with the things I love about the game. So, number one is the graphics. With everything that I do, like graphics have always been important to me. It's not even really like being realistic or anything. It just has to look clean. Like some like PlayStation 1 games didn't age well, but like I feel like Super Nintendo games did. I still think a lot of them look really good. But I mean, this game just has an unreal interface. Everything looks so clean. The animations are beautiful. Like even all the S3s in the game, they just look awesome. Like it feels like you're actually playing an anime. Like I think didn't their advertisements say that or something in the past, like the playable anime? And it really does feel like that. I just love the art. I love how the interface looks. Everything looks super clean. And I feel like this is the kind of game, like, it'll still look good in 2040, right? Because it's not trying to be realistic or something. It has a style to it. So I feel like this kind of graphical stuff does not get dated. It just looks good. I just like watching the game because the fights look very awesome to me. So that's one of the main things that I love about this game and why I've stuck with it so long. Number two, the hero diversity. There's just so many cool, fun heroes in this game. They all have, like I said, they all have great animations and stuff. But more importantly, I love that, even at the top tier meta, so many different heroes are used, and a lot of them are relatively accessible. Like, even the easier to get, like, five. I know some people say, like, all 5 stars are hard to get. But the point is, there's so many good heroes that aren't MLs. Like, they're always, like, beginner players who are complaining and saying like, "Oh, you can't compete without MLs." And that is BS. You can get to champion without using a single ML. Now, to be a top 100 player, obviously you're going to need it, but you're talking about the best players in the world. But to get to the higher tiers, I am 100% sure you could do it with nothing but RGB heroes. And I also love that, with the specialty change system, a lot of the greatest heroes in the game, anyone can get. Like, perfect example. You ask any top player what probably the most irritating and broken hero in the game right now is? It's this little slut. She's a 3 star. Anyone can get her. She's so toxic, and she's dumpstering ML5s right now. Like, I don't think a lot of other games have that, where the most broken hero in the game is a free 3 star that anyone can get. So I just love it. I love that, Falconer Clury's really good, Doris is really good, Amomo is decent, Aroz is really good. I mean, so many heroes in this game that are accessible to people, that are strong, not just like the super hard to get MLs. It's just really good. Really, really good. The other thing I like in this game is just the constant sense of progress. Like in games, when I love a game, I tend to be pretty hardcore about it. I'm the type to, like 2 days into the game, if I think it's fun and I think I want to stick with it, I'm going to read like a ton of research on it, figure out how to do everything optimally, and then I get to the end game fast. Like, put into perspective, I got to Legend Arena when I started the game in less than 3 months. So, when you play like that, if there isn't much to do, you end up getting bored of the game and quitting really fast. But Epic 7 is essentially unbeatable. Like, look at how many things, even after like almost 2 years of grinding and playing super efficiently, look how many things that I haven't had a chance to experiment with. And a lot of them I do want to. Like Pavel, I always wanted to build. Sea Armin, I still kind of want to build. Flan, Yuna. There's so many things, Spire Charlotte, that I still want to try that I haven't been able to. And I love that about this game. There's always a constant sense of progress. There's always something to do, a new hero to build, more gear to get, whatever, more strategies to try. Um, it's just really good. And on top of that, it's always being, accentuated by the further release of new content and new heroes. Like, I always laugh at the Stowe forums. Like, it's the most toxic place on the planet, but people, every single update, there's someone in the comment section saying, "What a lame update, you idiots. Oh, you didn't do XYZ." And it's like, dude, they update every week. General rule of thumb is like every 2-3 weeks they have a big update, and the other ones are filler updates. I'm actually glad about that. Like, imagine they released a new hero every single week. I think they did that for other games like 7DS, and everyone just got like annoyed by it because they couldn't keep up. I think the rate of releases in Epic 7 is actually perfect. So, anyways, I love that about the game. The next one for me is RTA. This one's going to be mixed. A lot of you guys might not agree with me on this, but I just love RTA. Like, since the game released this feature, I feel like there's always something to do. Now, obviously, there's really no rewards in RTA until the end of the season. So, if you're just talking about progress, there's really no reason to do it. But I think, I came from, competitive WoW. I used to play like a lot of Counter-Strike and Dota and things. And, competitive play is very important to me. That's what drives me. I never get into games without PvP, which is why things like Genshin, although everyone's obsessed with it, I just didn't care. As soon as I heard that there's no PvP, I was like, this is dumb. I don't even want to try it. So RTA, I just love fighting people and like, strategizing and getting outplayed and outplaying them. Like, I think this really makes the game, like, Arena is whatever, it's boring. You're just fighting like a preset team and any smart player can beat anyone's defense. But this, real time, going up against people toe to toe, and a better man wins until, they proc Alexis 10 times in a row. It's just so exciting to me. I love it. I know a lot of you guys hate this, but for me, it's what makes me stay in the game. Like, I just love doing RTA. Obviously, I've been doing it pretty competitively now, and I just love it. I can't get enough of it. And finally, a lot of you guys may disagree with me on this one, is I think it's very F2P friendly. I just think this game is absolutely fantastic in terms of being F2P friendly. Like I said, I got to Legend in about 3 months, regular arena. There was no RTA back then. And for those of you who have been with me from the beginning, I was almost essentially F2P when I started this channel. Now I'm a whale. I'm a whale for sure, because for those of you guys who haven't been following my channel, what I did was, once I started making money from YouTube, I basically started dumping that into Mystics so that I could keep up with the ML5s and review them and have content for you guys. And now that we have like more subs, I make like, I don't know, like $300 to $600 a month. So it's enough to keep up with the Mystics, but I never really wanted to use my quote unquote real money to buy stuff. So before, I was essentially F2P, and I still felt like I can make a lot of progress in this game without having to buy anything. And here is the secret to that some people don't get. Like, people who want to buy packs always complain that the packs are so expensive. And you're right, they are expensive, and that's why I think this game is F2P friendly, because, you always got to look at it on the other side, right? You don't get a lot of progress in this game for the amount of money. Like, here, you spend $100, right? $100, and you only get like 1/6, 1/7 of an ML5 and 1,200 Sky Stones, which a top player can blow through that in hunts in less than an hour. So it's very expensive to pay your way through this game. So I'm not saying there aren't whales out there, but the thing is, to be a whale and have a huge advantage in this game, the amount of money you have to spend is so exorbitant that it's not very common. Like, there's always going to be that 0.1% person that's blowing 100 grand into a video game, but by and large, that's not a thing. Not even for top 100 Legend players. There's a handful of them, but I guarantee you less than like 20% of the top 100 Legend players are spending like $100,000 in the game. Because a lot of these packs just aren't good value. And I prefer that, because you know what sucks? When the packs are such good value that it's super pay to win, because it's so cheap to progress. This is one reason why when I tried 7DS, I quit it, because I remember looking at it, and again, I was a new player, maybe I was screwing something up, but it was basically like their equivalent of like 6-starring and awakening a hero and all these mats. And like, I was looking online, they were like, oh, it'll take you about 2 to 3 weeks to get all these materials to do it. And I was like, damn. And then they had this little pop-up thing that came up and said like, buy this pack and you're gonna fully awaken and 6-star your hero. And it was like $10. And I was like, wait a minute, so you're telling me I have to grind for 3 weeks or pay $10 to get all that same stuff? And I was like, well, you could just work at McDonald's for 1 hour and save yourself 3 weeks of playing the game. Why would you ever want to play the game versus just buying the pack, right? So I feel like the cheaper the packs are, the less F2P friendly it becomes, because then you can't compete with people who even spent a marginal amount of money. Whereas in this game, a free-to-play player versus a guy who spent $300, there's really no difference. It basically accelerates their progress by like a week or two. For them to have a huge edge in this game, they have to have spent thousands, and that really lowers the amount of players who will do that and actually have that kind of edge. So I hope that explanation made sense to you guys, but I think this game is relatively F2P friendly and very dolphin friendly compared to some other gacha games out there. We all know gacha games are poison. So those are the things that I love about the game. Now let's get into the things that I hate about the game, and this is not going to be in any particular order. I'm going to save the last one for the thing I hate the most, though. So number one is just RNG in combat. Now, some people are just going to say this is insufferable, but I'm going to say that in general, I understand why it exists in the game, particularly in PvP. Because what a lot of people don't get is that RNG combat is not meant to annoy you. It's actually meant to help you, and here's why. Without things like absolute resistance, if you went up against a player with gear that was a tier above yours, you would literally have zero chance to win. Think of old school control comps. If they ran a bunch of CC'ers that outsped you without absolute resistance, you would have a literally 0% chance to win. They would just control your entire team the whole game and you would lose. Whereas with absolute resistance, it gives you a fighting chance because you could always 15% them and come back. Now, dual attacks I could do without. The only reason I could think of for dual attacks existing in the game is to give Guild Wars defenses an actual shot of beating attackers by RNGing them to death. But it's just annoying and frustrating in RTA when you lose to something with zero skill that already had such a tiny chance of happening to begin with, because no one's going to realistically account for whatever it is, a 5% chance when you're strategizing. And when it happens like 3 times in a row and you lose, it's infuriating. And, you know, dual attack chances are so low, like compared to like MLDB, counter, Alexas, these are all annoying RNG things, but at least they have a high enough proc chance where you can almost expect them to happen. But the reason I don't like RNG in combat is not PvP. It is this. PvE RNG is insufferable, particularly for Abyss. Like, I don't remember which floor it was. Was it this one? The damn one with the Scorpion boss, it was just intolerable because that first phase took like 15 minutes, and then to get to the second phase and immediately have all the mobs resist the defense break and the sleep or whatever, and you automatically lose, that is nonsense. I am glad I cleared Abyss and never have to worry about that again. Oh god, it was this one. This stupid floor. Basically, if you got resisted, like the standard strategy here was use Fire Tenebria. If you got resisted on the second phase, you have to start all over and fight this douche of a boss over and over. I fought this boss at least like 30 times. It is nonsense. The game doesn't need it. In PvP, fine, but in PvE, just take it out. It ruins all the strategy. It just makes you want to break your phone and uninstall the game. I hated it so much. All right, let's move on because I could rant about that level for like 6 years. All right, next is Molagoras. Now, my complaints are different from some of the average players. In general, I think this has gotten a lot better. People still complain, but people forget how much SG has actually done recently to make this better for us. Friendship refunds, getting more weekly, getting more from side stories. I think the rate of obtaining new Molas is perfectly fine now. And to that, good job and thank you, Smilegate. But one thing I don't like is that there is no refund for Molas at all in terms of resetting. At the top, you need your heroes to be fully Mola'd or they're, well, the DPSs to be fully Mola'd or they're essentially useless. Now, unlike some people, I don't think you should just be able to reset any hero whatever you want, because the argument that SG made was they want people to use Molas wisely and consider it an investment. I agree with them. I think that's fair. I think just letting full resets anytime would destroy Molas as a resource and kind of just be dumb. But one thing that's not the player's fault is if you invest in a hero that's good at the time and it falls completely out of the meta. So they did their research, they did everything right, but just the game changed and the hero became useless. That's not the player's fault, and I don't think they should be punished for that. So I think the quintessential example here is Luna. Back in the day, no one would ever criticize you for plus 15ing a Luna. She was the queen of Wyvern 11, and Wyvern 11 was the most important thing in the game. Everyone recommended, you pull for her, you build her, she's a must-have. And then Wyvern 13 came and made her completely useless. So how many players out there are sitting on plus 15 Lunas that are permanently benched because she sucks in PvE and she sucks even worse in PvP? I think, they did invest wisely. They did their research, but now they have this hero, all these wasted Molas for no reason. So I think what would make sense is to have very rare recalls, like maybe like a bi-monthly. On a bi-monthly basis, you get like a Mola recall ticket to account for meta shifts. Maybe like 6 times per year, you can reevaluate what heroes were good in the past that are simply not good today. Like I'll give you a couple examples. Think of things like Luna, Charles, ML Ken. I don't really think Tywin needed Moles, but Tywin's a perfect example because look how outclassed he is now because of Flan. They basically released a hero that does everything Tywin does, but 2 times better. But back in the day, there was no replacement for Tywin. He had a very unique kit. But if you love Tywin plus 15 him and now Flan's out, you're dumb because Flan's so much better and everything. But that wasn't your fault. The game changed. So why not let players reset some of these heroes that they didn't screw up on at the time, but SG screwed them over by changing the game, changing the meta, and now those heroes aren't good anymore. So again, that's actually a minor pet peeve, but I think, it's fair. It's fair to let players get their resources back for things that, they did their research, they were wise about it like SG wanted you to be, but then they changed the game and it's not a wise decision anymore. To me, that's not the player's fault. All right, next one is another personal pet peeve. A lot of you guys might not agree with me here, and that's fine. This is my list. I want you guys to share your own comments as well. But I really hate rock, paper, scissors heroes. Now, there's 2 kinds of rock, paper, scissors heroes, and there's only one I have a problem with. So there are soft counters and hard counters. So soft counter heroes I have no problem with. Like, why can't I find them? Like something like DJB. Like, this clearly counters certain heroes, like dispelling all buffs while granting immunity. It's going to be very powerful against certain heroes, but it's still kind of general, right? It's very general. It's like a general mechanic cleansing. It's fine. Like, I have no real problem with that. There are always going to be heroes that are strong against other heroes. But I remember I complained, like, very early on when, like, things like Blood Moon Haste came out, I complained that, they're going to start doing more and more things like that. Like, Operator Sigrid kind of sucks, but she doesn't, because so many things have barriers, and against barriers, she is broken. Like, if you have a barrier on against a well-built Opsig, you're dead. You're just dead. Blood Moon Haste, he's actually okay in a lot of drafts, but when he's up against a Reviver, he's just broken. He's almost like a must-ban. Rock, Paper, like against Arby and Maid Chloe, if you let him through, you basically lose. Rock, Paper, Scissors hero. Now, this hero isn't really used much, but I think another example, like, why am I so blind and I can never find stuff quickly for you guys? I'll start talking while I look for it, is Solitaria. Moves like this, where it's like, it does literally nothing against 90% of the heroes in the game, but against heroes with focus, like, Rylak gets so shut down by this. That's not a huge problem because not many people run Solitaria at the high end, but still, I always get concerned when they have abilities like this because I'm always worried they're going to come out with even more. And I'm like, oh God, like, what are they going to have next? Like, passive, if you're a fire hero that has an AoE attack, you die. Like, it's going to get really specific and weird. And I like, open-ended drafts. And these kind of heroes kind of mess up the draft phase. So I don't really like them. Now, the second to last one, these last 2 are in order. is gear RNG. Like, my god, the gear RNG is just insufferable in this game. So, everyone complains about the grind. I actually don't mind the grind. Maybe it's because I'm an older player. Like, newer games nowadays are tailored towards instant gratification, especially Western games. Everything's super easy, you can get everything really fast. I grew up in the age of games like World of Warcraft, Diablo 2, goddamn, Ragnarok Online. Probably 90% of you have never heard of that game. You think the grind in this game is bad? You know nothing. Old school games were so much worse. In my opinion, there is no grind in this game because I don't even really have to pay attention. Like, people are like, this game is so grindy. I'm like, what grind? What are you talking about? You do this, you click this, and then you click auto repeat and you walk away, and I don't even look at it for an hour. Like, this is a grind to you guys? This is not a grind. Who cares how long it takes if you don't even have to look at it? So it's not the grind to me that's the problem. It's the damn RNG. I have no problem grinding 50,000 Wyvern Claws to get gear. If that's what I have to do to get good gear, that's what I'll do. It'll take a few days of actual time, but about 5 seconds of my attention, so I could deal with it. What I mind is that at the end of it, I can end up with absolutely nothing. Like, it just feels so demoralizing when you grind so much and you get absolutely nothing worthwhile. It's like, well, I just spent all these resources, all this time, and I have nothing to show for it. I think that this system really needs a pity, especially with the rate that they make new heroes. It's so hard to keep up with the heroes because you can't get the gear. Now, I loved, like, now it doesn't show up anymore. Remember when they had that made Chloe reroll system? I'm hoping to keep that in the game and make a pity. And make it hard. Like, if they're worried that people are going to get good gear too fast, make it hard. Make it so every 50,000 crafting materials obtained, get a made Chloe reroll token. Anything to make getting gear less insufferable. I mean, at this point, when I get a godly piece of gear, I'm not even excited because I get something and I'm like, well, time to ruin it by rolling it and having it all go into flat attack and flat health. Like, it's just demoralizing. Like, give us something. Give us something to make this a little bit more tolerable. Give us a token that gives us a higher chance of getting it into the subs that we want. Make the roll ranges a little... I don't know, but, you know, fine. You want us to kill 8 million dragons. You know, SG hates dragons. They want to kill all the dragons. We're fine. We're going to kill those dragons for you. But give us a little bit. Give us a little bit back and make this not so demoralizing. Because I have literally had sessions where I craft 35,000 claws. You can check my channel for some of these because I recorded them. And I literally end up with zero. A flat zero amount of pieces that I actually need. And that just makes me want to drop kick a monkey in the face. Sorry, monkey. I don't know why monkeys came to mind. I guess I internally don't like them. Okay. All right. So final one, and my main pet peeve is just the tedious tasks. Now, you guys, I just already said, I like to play super efficiently. I don't like to miss anything. This is how I progress so fast in this game. This is the advice I've given to you guys to progress fast. But there's just so much boring stuff to do in this game. It doesn't take a long time, thankfully. It doesn't take a long time. But just like, why do I need to do this at all? Like things like auto repeats. Why is there a limit of 20? Do they really care? Like, is it really that important to Smilegate that we come back every hour and click it again? Why? But, you know, I can live with that. I can live with that. But things like this, like, why do I have to come here and click this thing every day? Is there any reason for me not to purify it? Like, why do I have to come here and click it? These annoying banner ones, and this one's particularly annoying because digging up those carrots takes forever for some reason. Just give us the rewards after we do the 20 adventures or whatever. What is the benefit of me going in there and clicking on it? Expeditions. Is there any reason I wouldn't want to post them and invite everyone? Like, why do they have to be separate buttons? If I post it, I want to invite people. There's just a lot of pointless clicking. High command missions. Yes, I want to rerun them. I'm never going to not want to rerun them. Can you just rerun them? Like, why do I have to keep clicking on it? Why would I not want to collect these guys? Like, I get it. They want us to log in, but fine. If we log in once a day, can you just give this stuff to us? Okay, do we have to click all these things? Like, World Boss is dumb content. Like, World Boss, there's no brain involved in World Boss. You just click auto and skip it. Like, why? Why? There's this... I feel like every time they release new content, it's just another thing I have to click every day. Like even stuff like this where I'm gonna do it every day, donating. Can I just auto, like there's just so much stuff to do. I need to the labyrinth shop. I need to go and check the labyrinth shop. I just hate. I feel like I wake up in the morning and I just spend about 5 to 10 minutes clearing out all these annoying things. So again, they're never going to change it. It's not a huge deal. Like I said, it doesn't take that long. I think it just annoys me because I've been playing this game for 2 years. So if I add it all up, I've probably spent like an entire day of my life just collecting abyss tokens and inviting people to expeditions and stuff where it's just like, why? Why? Like, it's not something you can lose or where your input actually matters. It's just maddening, mindless tasks. So, anyways, those are the 5 things that I love and hate about Epic 7. I know it was kind of ranty, but hey, you guys asked, or at least someone asked. Maybe a lot of you didn't care. So, those are my thoughts. So, why don't you guys let me know? You guys can, you can't really argue with me because it's just my opinion, but you can share your own loves and dislikes in the comment section below. What do you hate the most about the game? I'm sure people would love to hear it. So, anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this video was, amusing for you guys. Now you know the stuff that I hate. Now you know the stuff that I love. And please share your own thoughts below. Till next time, boys. Peace out.